InPulse percussion duo, two young talented musicians in Leeds, and this is their story.
When a fire starts to When a fire starts to
So my name is Tim. I'm the first or second member of InPulse, and I'm here to talk to you about music. Yeah, so originally I was born in Birmingham, a place called Handsworth, which is a really interesting place, really multicultural, loads of different styles of music. And I feel that was a big influence on me from a young age, especially being exposed to different styles like Bhangra music, reggae music, hip hop, and all these styles which people were into at the time. And when I was at school, we had people come into our assemblies and playing dole drums, and I think that was what really kind of sparked off my passion for drumming.
So my name is Michael. I'm one of two members of InPulse Percussion Duo, and I'm currently a student at Leeds College of Music. So I'm originally from Liverpool, as you can tell by my thick Scouse accent, and I started learning music in primary school. So I picked up piano and violin in year 4, year 5, and then I progressed onto drums in secondary school. And I found a real connection with learning drum kit. It's got a sort of almost primal feel to it. And yeah, I was told that I was a natural at it, which is a nice thing.
Though InPulse are based in Leeds, they are not afraid to travel far and wide. I was fortunate enough to go with them out to Manchester to do some late afternoon busking.
We're going to go to either Manchester Piccadilly Gardens, but that's unlikely because it's looking pretty wet still. Not surprising because it's Manchester. And then the next place we're going to go to, well, the main destination is underneath the Arndale. There's some coverage down there, so we're just going to go and play some drums. Hopefully people don't mind. Yeah, it should be good fun. That's the next plan really. But yeah, I think probably missed all the shoppers by now. We might get a crowd of party goers.
But before we showcase that, I wanted to find out how they actually feel when they're drumming and whether they have anyone who inspires them.
So the feeling of playing drums for me is that you're free. All your worries and troubles have left you, and you're in the zone where you can just relax and just feel the moment, especially when you're playing with other musicians as well and you're interacting with people. And I feel like when you play drums, it's a chance for you to kind of really listen as well.
The one thing that I like about drumming is that you're no longer just playing one instrument, you're playing an entire section of an orchestra that has a heritage in every part of the world.
Basically, the musicians that I find really inspiring at the moment, there's a drummer called Yusuf Days who I think is absolutely amazing. My reasons for thinking he's amazing is because every time I see him, he's bringing something fresh to the table. I feel like he's brought jazz into a whole new limelight these days, because what he's basically done is, he's allowed, it's obviously grown up with jungle, grime, hip hop, garage, and he's taken all these genres and put them into a language in which he uses as a jazz drummer basically.
I have a number of different inspirations in different fields. From a film music inspiration, there's a trailer music production company called 2 Steps From Hell. Sounds like a death metal band, but they're actually a composition duo that have written countless what you'd class as epic music trailers. And the stuff that they write is very, very simple in terms of the melody and the harmony, but when it's orchestrated out for a 90-piece string orchestra and 30 taiko drummers, it sounds incredible and transports you into a completely parallel world.
So the first location InPulse stopped off at was the Arndale, and even whilst they're setting up their gear, they drew in quite a large crowd. So as the night began to draw in, InPulse then ventured onto the multicoloured fountains right in the square of Manchester. And truth be told, they looked very good at night.
How are Tim and Micah's flatmates in Leeds? They're noisy. They don't stop playing the drums. They're messy. They leave their drums everywhere, and their speakers. They like to drink a lot of alcohol, partly because I give them the alcohol to drink and I encourage them to drink. It gets their musical juices flowing.
And that's not just in the flat, Jermaine. In fact, InPulse carried their rhythm right onto the train journey back home. Some of those passengers who thought they were going to get a late night kip were hard out of luck.
Basically, we're on the booze train tonight, and we've been stuck in a place called Walston. No intention of going here again. Yeah, we've basically seen scenes of nudity, violence, all sorts. As you can hear from the cheers, we've been stranded for some time now. There's a real problem with alcoholism in the UK. I think people need to be able to express themselves without drinking and poisoning themselves, because there's signs of violence which are really not very good. But I do feel now that the train is in a more harmonious spirit.
Some may ask, where does InPulse go from here?
InPulse's unique selling point, I think, would be the fact that no one else in the UK does what we do. The next thing I've got lined up at the moment is a UK tour with InPulse Percussion Duo. We're going to start, I think we plan to start in Edinburgh at the Military Tattoo, and then work our way down the country through Leeds, York, Harrogate, Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, just work our way down the country until we end up in London, spend a good few weeks there, seeing if we can get enough of an interest in what we do, and then depending on how that tour goes, we'll either call it quits then, or we'll venture on into Europe and see how far we can get doing that.
What's next for Tim Cook? Okay, well, there's a lot of things in the planning. Nectar's got an EP out in February, which I'd like to repeat again, so that's something that we've been working really hard on. We've been in the studios, and I feel with Nectar it's a very live band, and I feel like what we've been trying to do in the studio is incorporate that live feel, but in a way which is controlled, in a way which has kind of good textures, good inspirations, and I feel like that's something that's going to be really exciting. So Nectar's a big part of my life. It's going to be something we're going to be touring. InPulse again, plenty more stuff with InPulse. We're going to be touring. We've got a plan for doing a summer tour, starting off in Liverpool, Africa Oye Festival, which is a really cool festival which we're big fans of. Everyone there has a djembe in their hands, so we'll be drumming away there. And yeah, so those are two things. I've actually got a bit of a business plan after uni. A very close friend of mine, Greg Burns, who's also the percussionist in Nectar, Greg and I will be hoping to set up a samba drum business where we need to find a name. I need to pass my driving tests. These are all things that I need to sort out. But the idea is we're going to basically be working with people in the community, young people with various needs, who would love to express themselves and love the opportunity to meet people. And I feel that I'm so passionate about wanting to kind of connect with people who don't always have the opportunity to have what I have, with uni and stuff. So that's a big passion of mine. So yeah, lots of music in the community, music EP as well. I'm going to be releasing an EP soon this summer, all original stuff. It's going to have Brazilian, African, lots of different influences, but primarily electronic music, because it's kind of going back to my roots, which I really loved electronic music from a young age, so that's something that I've been passionate about releasing, but I've always been too much of a perfectionist to release much stuff. And of course the big Tim Cook recital at the end of this year, Leeds College of Music, that's a big part of it as well, so big show coming up as well.
InPulse Percussion Duo. You can find them on YouTube under the channel name InPulse. You can also find them on Facebook at InPulse Percussion, and you can find them on Instagram at InPulse Percussion.